5,000-mile road trip starts now.
So, moment of truth. Is this the key? I've been carrying this around on my keyring for 2 years, I guess. And I think it's the key. Let's find out. Yes, okay, good, we're in. We have not been here in 2 years, so fingers crossed, everything inside is okay. Okay, all looks good. No signs of moisture, no signs of anything missing, no signs of animals. So this is a storage unit that we took out about 3.5 years ago when we first hit the road full time in the RV. It is I think a 5x8 unit that we've got here. It is climate controlled. That was something that was pretty important to us. And really we had a load of stuff that we wanted to store in here. Now, we don't have family in the US, so if you do, maybe you can leave a box with them, and that's always a good option. But for us, we had nowhere that we could store things, just kind of at a friend's house or a relative's house or something. So we chose to get this storage unit. And honestly, once you've stored one thing, you might as well store some more things. You might as well keep them in here rather than get rid of them if you think you're going to need them later. So we came up with some rules for things that we didn't want to store that we were going to get rid of. So we said pretty much anything that was textiles, that included sofas and things like that, we weren't going to try and keep. And the same with any kind of IKEA furniture. It's just honestly easier to buy that stuff again later than it is to try and disassemble it or store it as is in here. So we came up with a short list of things that we wanted to store. A lot of them were things like I had some really nice glassware that I'd inherited. That was pretty valuable and sentimental to me. We had a load of electronic stuff. So I had a pretty big home movie theater set up, and I really wanted to hold on to some of those things. We also had some elements of furniture. So we had a big, nice oak dining table and chairs, so we wanted to store that and keep that in here, as well as some other bits and pieces, books and things like that in here. One of the things that we're really excited to get into today, though, is the tools. So we have these two tool things here, this tool chest and this tool bag. When we got the storage unit, one of the things we did was created a document that listed everything in the storage unit, right down to serial numbers of electronic parts and things like that. We've been able to refer to that since and go, okay, I know that box Q has my Nespresso coffee machine and the serial number is blah. Useful in case ever there was a theft or some damage to the unit, we would know exactly what was in here. We had all the serial numbers and everything. Also really useful for remembering, because honestly, 3.5 years later, I can't remember what's in any of these boxes. I can't remember what we decided to store and what we decided to sell or donate or give away to friends. However, for some reason that we don't remember, we didn't actually itemize everything. And I guess maybe we just ran out of time or we got impatient or something, I don't know. But for whatever reason, this tool chest and this DeWalt bag are not on our list of things on our inventory. We knew they were in here because when we closed up the unit, we took a photo. So we could see these things in here, but I actually don't know what's in these. I think this is a circular saw. It may also be a random orbital sander, I'm not sure. And I have no idea whether this tool chest is full, empty, or somewhere in between. One of the decisions we had to make about when to come and empty this unit was actually to do with building the house. And we said, hey, if there are tools in here that we can use for the house build, we might as well come along sooner rather than later and get them out. So why don't we open this up and see what's inside and see if I've remembered correctly. So we'll start with this one. Okay, it is a circular saw. It's cordless as well, not corded. It is the DCS 391. So that is a 20 volt, 6.5 inch circular saw. And a bunch of sand discs for a random orbital sander, but no sign of a random orbital sander. There is a blade in the saw though, so that's useful. It'll be good to have a second circular saw. We already have the 60 volt flex volt one that we've been using, so this isn't as powerful, but it'll be useful to have this second one. So let's see what's in here. Okay, it's heavy, that's a good sign. And genuinely, we are opening this for the first time. I have no idea what's in here. Okay, some more sandpaper for the random orbital sander. We have some sanding blocks. I think this is my digital calipers. I was hoping these were going to be in here somewhere. Yes, I have some digital calipers.
Those sanding blocks are in a fancy shoebox.
we made use of whatever boxes we needed. And this is my small torque wrench. So got that nice small one as well. So that's good to see because these aren't cheap. So I'm glad that's there. How did I open this? Can't even remember how to open this. This is hilarious. Did I have to unlock? Oh yeah, I had to unlock these. There we go. Okay. Hey, look at this. Okay, so what have we got in here? We've got a bunch of screws from when I used to do some woodworking. We've got some screw extractors from when I used to mess up my woodworking and had to get the screws out. This is the torque wrench, my bigger one. This is what we had to buy another one of when we needed to do to assemble the sawmill. And so I knew we had this still. I thought I had this somewhere in the storage unit, but we had to buy another one because it was all the way down here. So we have two of those. Here's my random orbital sander. We've got a work light. And then this is actually quite a nice surprise. I had totally forgotten I had this. But this is a reasonably powerful hammer drill, corded hammer drill. So this is the DW511. So it's not a big SDS drill or anything, but a good hammer drill will, I'm sure, be useful on the build. What's this? I think this is my, this is my valve spring compressor. When I rebuilt the engine on my ATV, I had this that I needed for like one thing. So I had this valve spring compressor. There's more in there than I thought we were going to find. So I'm kind of pleased with that.
And this is because you couldn't remember which things you sold and which things you kept.
Yeah, so before we hit the road, I had a decent amount of woodworking gear and other equipment. I'd rebuilt the engine on my quad. I'd done some basic woodworking. So I actually had a decent collection of tools. When we hit the road, I couldn't take all those with me. I didn't need them on the road. A lot of them I just decided to sell off. So I used to have a miter saw, a table saw, and these things. Those I sold off, but I tried to hold on to, I guess, one box full. So if you are going to get a storage unit as an RVer, there's a couple of things that you want to be thinking about. First is, how much size do you really need? Storage units aren't cheap, and as we learned, they go up in price. We got this 3.5 years ago, and pretty much without fail, every year, the price has just gone up and up and up. So don't store more than you have to. That said, there is a minimum size you can get. You can't get a 1 cubic foot storage unit or something. Typically the smallest you can get is 5x5, or I think this is 5x8, or maybe 5x10 actually. So think about what you really need to store, and then think about how you're going to store it. Some things, honestly, you probably just don't want to store. Like I said earlier, we didn't store textiles because we just didn't think they were going to store very well. We were a little concerned that they would attract rodents or mice, or just the fabric wouldn't last. Plus, honestly, they're really bulky. We had to get all of this stuff from California, where we used to live, down to here in Texas. So we used one of the UHaul pods. You rent this box, it's about a 5x8 box. You put it on a trailer, bring it to your place, fill it up, take it back to UHaul, and then they ship it. And we found that was the most cost-effective way of getting things from California to here. When we actually came to storing them, we really liked these big blankets. These came in the UHaul pod, and we managed to get a few more of them. And these are good because they're quite thick, so actually when it came to transporting them, we're able to pack things really well in the boxes, and then with these, we're able to sort of wrap things. We've got like my speakers and some other things that are really well wrapped in various types of packaging material, including these big thick blankets. As you can see, we've also used these here to cover everything, just to keep any dust or anything else off that might be in the air. One tip I would recommend that I guess we did by accident but kind of worked out. Think about storing a furniture dolly. So this, I'm sure, will come in super useful when we come to move stuff tomorrow. They do have carts, but honestly, having this furniture dolly is going to become pretty useful when it comes to moving some of the big stuff. Some of these boxes are also really, really heavy. So as you are packing your storage unit, think about the order you pack things in. We've tried not to put heavy boxes on top of light boxes. So all the stuff at the bottom is generally speaking the heavier stuff, and ideally stuff that we're not worried about getting damaged. So I'm not going to put my heavy box of like porcelain or china plates or something at the bottom, but like my old parts of truck suspension, as you can see on the floor here, are good ones to put at the bottom because it doesn't matter too much if they have a load of weight on top of them. Somewhere in here as well, I've also got a telescope. So one of my hobbies was kind of astronomy, and somewhere in here I have an 8-inch Newtonian telescope. All of the big sort of mount and the weight, the counterweights on there as well. There's some really heavy stuff in here. And that would be my other point. Think about the weight. It's not just a case of, obviously in here, it doesn't matter about the weight, but the weight does matter when it comes to transporting it. There is a weight on pods and how much you can put in there, but also a weight for us now to get this in the U-Haul trailer and take it home. I've got a pretty good idea about the weight here, so I'm not too concerned about the trailer. But if you are storing a lot more than this, you want to be thinking about how much it all weighs. In terms of how you lay things out in the storage unit itself, you can see that I'm standing in this little corridor that we made. So I can actually step a good few feet into the storage unit and then reach across to reach quite a lot of the things from where I am. So this way that when we add things or take things out, we try to put the things we might want most near the front and accessible from this spot. So my luggage, if ever we want to do a big trip, I could come in here and get the luggage without having to go all the way to the back. All the boxes in here have a nice big label on them. Box are baking trays, and that makes them really easy to find on our inventory list. Apart from this one, don't use tiny letters on here. This is really hard to read, but I think it says from RV woodworking tools, which is interesting because I don't remember putting woodworking tools in. What we did is we've been back to the storage unit twice since we first put things in. When we first hit the road, we then went to Europe for about 6 weeks, and when we got back, we sort of decided to put a few more things in here and just trim a little bit of fat from the RV. So it could be from then. The second time was about 2 years ago, after we'd been on the road for about 18 months. We did a bit of a purge inside and came up with a few boxes of things that we felt we could move into the storage unit since we were passing by. So it's probably from one of those 2 times, but I don't remember what's in here. So let's open it up and have a look. Oh wow, some good stuff in here. So we have a speed square, which is not metric, unlike my other one. It was a disaster. Got another tri-square. I have my old multimeter. We've got my saw. We've got the rubber mallet. No wonder I could never find this in the storage bay. It wasn't in the storage bay, it was here. Oh, there you go, another tape measure. This is from Tesco in the UK. My 5-meter, 16-foot auto lock measuring tape. That's pretty old. And then yeah, I've got a bunch of Craig stuff in here. So from when I used to do woodworking, I've got a Craig jig. And then the right angle clamp, the joint clamp here, and then this wood glue, which, I mean, might still be good. We'll find out. Be specific, take photos, that's my advice. Then you'd have to try and remember years later what it was. I found some more things that I really thought were in here somewhere, but I couldn't see on the photos. These little things, it's so tiny, but coming back here after 3.5 years, my Christmas tree stand for holding a Christmas tree, and that blue bag back there, the dark blue bag, that is my telescope. So pretty excited to have found these again.
And you might notice that most of these things is Matt talking about because those are his things. This is because when we moved in, he moved from a 3-bedroom house living by himself and furnishing the whole house, versus I used to live at that time with roommates, and I only really had my bedroom and stuff that fitted in my bedroom. So yeah, most of the stuff here is Matt's stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of sad but true. So it's Sunday afternoon today. We've driven about 1,000 miles to get here, so we're not going to try and unpack all of it or load all this today. We also need to empty a safety deposit box at the bank, so we can't do that today. We need to be around tomorrow on Monday to do that. So we're going to be back here tomorrow with a trailer to start unloading this. We've just been and picked up the U-Haul since we had a couple of hours spare this afternoon. We don't really want to leave it any more nights than we have to while it's full of stuff, because it's just a chance that someone could steal it and all our stuff. But tonight's going to be empty, so this way we can get along to the storage unit in the morning because they open at 6, so we can hopefully get that packed up nice and early, hit the bank when they open at 9 and empty the safety deposit box there, and hopefully be on the road by about 9:30, which is good because we've got about 1,300 miles to cover in the next 3 days, and we can only do 55 miles per hour when we tow the trailer because this thing has a 55 mile per hour max speed limit. But getting the trailer today has been good. We took our time to get it all set up. One of the tyres we found was low. All the others were at the correct pressure, but one was a lot lower. We can't see any obvious like nail or anything in there, so they inflate it back up to pressure and we'll keep an eye on it. And the way that we're going to keep an eye on it is we have moved all of the TPMS, the tyre pressure monitoring system sensors. We've taken them off our travel trailer back at home in Virginia, or where it's living at the moment in Virginia. It doesn't need them on there for this trip, so we've taken those 4 sensors off and put them on the U-Haul, and that way we can keep an eye on the tyre pressures while we are travelling. You might want to turn your car around this corner so you're pushing rather than pulling. Pulling's easier.
I find pushing is harder, really. Like, how do you turn it around?
Front wheels don't turn.
Correct. Right?
So the point.
This is easy.
Yes, but you're going to load it up with stuff in a minute, and then you've got to do the hard one.
How that turns around?
What is wrong with you? Why wouldn't you just do this? Move?
I can't do it.
What is this? What is this?
It doesn't go where I want it to go.
What is this?
Oh, come on. This is much harder to see.
I know, but I'd rather have it hard while it's empty rather than when we've got the thing full of boxes. We can totally build a house, right?
As long as it doesn't involve shuffling stuff around in carts. Oh, Jesus. I think this one is like broken. It wants to go on one side.
See, the front wheel exactly where he wants to go. Oh my god, this is too funny. It's going to be a long day, isn't it? Well, here we are. Okay, good. So, here's the plan. The way that we packed this has a lot of the big, heavy stuff at the back, at the bottom. And the easier to access stuff that we wanted to get to more is at the front and on top. It's also, generally speaking, the stuff that's going to be easier to steal. So I'm actually not that upset that that's going to be kind of buried deeper inside the trailer. That way if someone does break in, they've got big, bulky stuff at the back, which is hard to steal. And maybe some of the more valuable, smaller things are going to be further back. We are going to keep it locked and everything as well.
So the plan is the stuff in the front of the storage unit goes deeper inside the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, basically we're going to just take loads of this out onto these carts, take them downstairs and just start putting them straight away in the trailer.
And then when we're unpacking on the other end, the stuff that you first get in the trailer
will be
goes
the big
deeper.
bulky stuff will go deeper into the storage unit, which is good because we don't need it in the storage unit over there as well. So it's kind of like a last in, first out type of policy here, and the same on the trailer and the same at the other end. So it should work. The caveat is there are a couple of big things, 2 in particular. One is the big oak dining table, which I think is back over there. And the other is the entertainment console, which is a big kind of 6-foot TV stand thing, which I can see under here. We'll just need to make sure we leave space for those in the trailer. The trailer is bigger than this. It's a foot wider and at least a couple of feet longer. So I'm not worried about it all fitting. We just need to get it down there. So we've got 2 carts. We're just going to load these up with stuff and just start moving it down. Please mind your ass.
You're the one who knows how to drive really well.
I don't think this counts as driving.
I think it does. That's 4 wheels.
The front wheels just don't turn, so you just got to put those where you want them.
Easier said than done.
It's not! Another good tip, if you've got a heavy box, label it heavy. This one says heavy in capital letters with 2 exclamation marks and says telescope mount. Yep, this is heavy. This one's a bit lighter. This is my old motorcycle gear.
I like the collection of Amazon boxes and UHaul boxes as storage boxes.
These UHaul boxes have held up really well. We're just using the brown packing tape on the UHaul boxes. We seem to be moving pretty quickly here. This is 45 minutes in and we've probably got 2 more cart loads left in there, so like 1 more trip after this. The other end will not be the same. Up in Vermont this week, it's like minus Fahrenheit temperatures, super cold. They had about 10 inches of snow, I think, last week. The storage unit that we're loading into doesn't have such a nice loading dock as this one, and the elevator is actually to the outside and doesn't have a ramp to get in. So we're gonna have to lift things from the trailer into the elevator. It's gonna be a bit of a pain. Time to get these to the car.
So let me turn off the camera.
So this is it, we're all done. This was a 5x10 storage unit and it is now completely empty. That's taken us about an hour and a half to get things out to this point. Maybe another 15 minutes or so to get everything from this load into the trailer, and then time to hit the road. 1,300 miles back to Virginia, and then another, I don't know, 700-800 back to Vermont. So a lot of driving in the next 5 days, but we'll finally have everything reunited with us back in Vermont. So I hope this was useful for you. If you are interested in getting a storage unit, as RVers, we found this really useful. We've had this storage unit here in Houston, Texas for 3.5 years, but now is the time to move it all up to Vermont, where we are building our home base on 40 acres of land in rural Vermont.
So bye-bye Texas, home of 3 years.
Time to hit the road. It is 9:30, we are absolutely bang on schedule here. We've just been into the bank and emptied and closed out our safety deposit box. We had a bunch of documents in there that, just as an absolute backup, if something happened to the RV and the truck, we had a backup of some documents.
And also we had the RV keys in there as well.
Some RV keys and a USB key. So what was interesting is apparently about 2 weeks ago, Chase stopped issuing any new safety deposit box. So that's not an option for you going forward, but works really well for us.
So now it's 9:30 and it's a lot of miles in front of us.
It's a lot of miles. It is 1,357 miles to be precise. And we have a maximum speed of 55 while towing, so this is going to be a long few days of driving. It took us about 2 hours to unload everything from the UHaul trailer, and although it's only about 20 degrees outside, honestly, it was quite nice having it so cold. We are pretty sweaty. That was pretty tiring work. There was a lot to cram in here. This unit wasn't empty. We already had some stuff, some of our tools and things from the property that we didn't want to leave in the unheated shipping container through the winter. This unit is heated, it's climate controlled. So yeah, so that was our big move. It was about 2,000 miles from Houston up to here in Vermont, and we finally reunited all our things up here. We have tried to pack things in a fairly sensible order. The things that we just don't need until we have a house, like our speakers and some of the furniture, is way at the back over there. And then things that we want to get to once we're kind of settled in on the property, maybe we've got the utility building, they're kind of in the middle. And then the things that we know we're going to need as soon as we get back here in spring, those things are right at the front, so we can get those as soon as possible. Things like the generator, some of the tools that we're going to need, those sorts of things. Overall, that went really smoothly. Now it's time to go and return the UHaul trailer and make our way back to Virginia, another 500 miles or more. So not done yet on the road, but this exercise is done.
Since we made it all the way to Vermont, we thought we would check out our property too. So goal in about March time, 1st of March, is to get the trailer here and then back it in over here, same place where we had it in the fall. And obviously there's a lot of snow right now here, so I'll definitely need to get it plowed. Otherwise it is super fun to see the property, and looks like nobody has been here. We only see the tracks of animals. We took down the mailbox for the winter and the mailbox post has survived. Bye bye property till March.